Okay. Call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Commissioner Ellen?
Present.
Commissioner Norwood?
Here.
Commissioner Siragusa?
Here.
Commissioner Roberts? Here. Commissioner Stallings?
Here.
Commissioner Orr?
Here.
And Mayor Pinkinen.
Here. Thank you. Invocation tonight will be by Mark McAdoo from Willow View Church, and followed by a flag salute with the Boy Scouts of Troop 11, led by their scout leader, Mike Silver, here tonight. So let's go ahead and do that. Mark, you start.
If you would, please pray with me tonight. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful evening. We're so very thankful for cooler temperatures in the morning and the promise of autumn unfolding before us. You are the creator and master of every season in our life. We're blessed to know that even with changing seasons, you never change. You are our solid foundation as individuals and our Enid community. Thank you for these who serve us faithfully as our mayor, city council, community leaders, and engaged citizens. We're blessed to call Enid our home and pray that we will make decisions to benefit all who live and work here, including our neighbors, family, and friends. We seek your wisdom tonight because we know your ways are higher and your thoughts are wiser. May we take time to listen to your voice and to respect one another's voices as well. In a confusing world, thank you for bringing order out of chaos. May your name be praised in Enid and beyond, and may you always find us faithful because you are faithful and true. May your truth prevail in our hearts, minds, and actions. To God be the glory. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Pastor McAdoo, and thanks to the Scouts for doing that for us tonight. Appreciate seeing you all here and being part of our government today. Item number 3, minutes. Item 3.1, consider approval of minutes of the regular commission meeting of September 20th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any corrections or changes? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Item 4, awards, presentations, proclamations, and organizational business. Item 4.1, present pet available for adoption at the city's Animal Welfare Department. Who do we have?
This is Gandalf, the gray. So he is a 1 to 2 year old Siamese mix. He's really sweet, really loving. He's kind of got a little bit of mischievous side. He likes to run and play in the cat room. He likes to go exploring, so that's kind of why I named him Gandalf the Gray. But he's just really sweet, and he's ready for his new home. He's located in Pen 9, and he's just ready to go explore with you.
All right. Thank you. Item 4.2, recognize City of Enid Employee of the Month for September. Gerald, you're up. But you're not the employee, though.
No, I'm
Okay.
not. Angela, come on up, and Jason. And Raleigh. We try to do this about once a month, and it's one of the, as I say every time, it's one of the most enjoyable parts of my job is working with our employees, and we've got some great employees here, and we're trying to do a good job of recognizing those, some of those every month. And so Angela Rasmussen is our Employee of the Month for September. You know, I've known Angela for quite a while. I think, Angela, you've been here, I'm going to say roughly between 12 and 15 years. Is that about right? 15? Okay, so I was a little off. So I'll see you again when you get your 15-year pin. Well, hey, she's the Employee of the Month for September. She does wonderful things. She's worked in various different places. She's currently a project manager in engineering and does great things for our team while they manage 150 projects. So I'm going to let Jason and Morali talk about how great Angela is.
y'all don't know how much Angela means to the engineering department. And I'm gonna really try not to get emotional because I always talk about, when I talk about people that I really appreciate, I tend to do that. I probably won't now since I mentioned it. But Angela is responsible for so many things in the engineering department that she's invaluable. She's site plan manager. She's on the PACE committee. She's our ADA, what's the word I'm looking for? ADA administrator. She's all the new fiber projects. She manages all those that are coming into town. Plus, she handles our day-to-day basis on our project organization, invoicing, so many things. I'm sure I'm forgetting it.
Grant funding projects.
Grant funding projects right now. She is our Swiss Army knife of the department. She does everything and is good at everything, and we really appreciate her and excited that she's working with us right now. And it's an awesome time. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you. Really, I gotta say something twice.
I think Angela came to engineering about 4 years ago, 2019, and with 4 years experience, like you are doing like more than like 30 years experience person like in engineering. So she knows every corner of the department. So she's a very valuable to engineering. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you.
Performance. And I know it's your turn to say some.
Okay, I do. I feel really super humbled. I get nervous at stuff like this, but I feel really humbled to get this award because everybody that I encounter throughout my daily work life is so helpful and so hardworking. I think we just have amazing employees at the City of Enid. And these two guys here, best director and city engineer, I think that there can be, and so awesome to work for. So my department's like a family. Just, I love working here at the City of Enid and especially in engineering. So thank you.
Gerald, she's doing so much. What are all the rest of them guys doing up there?
That's right. Run laps around.
All right. Item 5, public comments. We've had 4.3. Oh, I'm sorry. Moved ahead just a little bit too quick here. Present the National Code Compliance Month proclamation. So I have a proclamation that I'd like to read for you at this time. Mr. Henry, if you could come forward, please.
And Mayor, just to explain real quickly, Brian used to work for the city. He's currently the code development,
Community
development person in Perry, and he brought to our attention and this code compliance month. So I wanted everybody to know that too. We appreciate your service here and your service in Perry.
Now, there's a lot of jobs in the world that are kind of thankless. I can think of some people behind me that might be filling some of those jobs. But I can also tell you that code enforcement is one of those that is very necessary for every community and occasionally rubs people the wrong way. So we have to run into that. So you got to walk a fine line between making the community better and not making the citizens unhappy. And that's a very, very tight line to walk. So I appreciate the work that you do and everybody in code enforcement does. But let me read the proclamation. It reads as follows. Whereas code enforcement officers provide for safety and welfare of citizens throughout the United States through enforcement of local codes or ordinances facing various issues of building, zoning, housing, animal control, environmental, health, and life safety. And whereas code enforcement officers often have a challenging and demanding role, often do not receive recognition for the job that they do in improving living and working conditions for residents and businesses of local communities. And whereas the role of many code enforcement officers has expanded in recent years with the increased number of foreclosed and abandoned homes in communities impacted economically. And whereas code enforcement officers are dedicated and high qualified professionals who share the goals of preventing neighborhood deterioration, enhancing and ensuring safety, and preserving property values through knowledge and application of house, zone, and nuisance codes and ordinances. And whereas code enforcement officers often have a highly visible role in the communities they serve and regularly interact with a variety of state officials, community officials, first responders, legislative boards, commissions, agencies, and bodies. And whereas code enforcement officers are called upon to provide quality service, customer service, and excellence to residents and businesses of the communities in which they serve. And whereas the American Association of Code Enforcement wants to recognize and honor code enforcement officers and professionals all across the United States and bring awareness to the importance of code enforcement to the communities of the United States. And whereas American Association of Code Enforcement was established in 1988 for the purpose of providing ongoing training and support for code enforcement professionals working in the United States. Now therefore, I, George C. Pankinen, Mayor of the City of Enid, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2022 as National Code Compliance Month and call upon all municipalities and communities to join in recognizing and expressing their appreciation for the dedication and service by the individuals who serve as our code enforcement officers. In witness whereof, I have hereunder set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Enid to be affixed this 4th day of October 2022. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Yep.
Thank you.
Let's see. We have 4 people that have signed up. Some did not indicate what they wanted to sign up for. One did indicate specifically public comments, which is where we're at in the agenda. Emily Laddick.
Good evening. My thoughts aren't quite as organized because I was busy scratching them down on paper back there, but it's about the trash service discussion that was in the study session. I just want to talk about how the city redefined grass clippings as separate from trash somewhere when I was not living in Enid. When I was a little girl, we used to bring our grass clippings in bags down to the end of the curb, and my sister and I hated that chore, but that's what we had to do. We piled it up on the end of the curb, and then our trash truck would come by with 3 men, and they would jump out and grab all the trash, throw it in, and drive away. And then when we moved back to Enid in 2013, we had a cart system, and somewhere the trucks had been modernized. We only have 1 truck and 1 driver, and then you've separated the green carts and blue carts, so we participated. I keep being told that the grass service is free, and it's frustrating to me from the first time I heard it because I pay $14 a month for our trash service, and then I paid $65 for each cart on top of that. So I feel like it's on the city to put pen to paper and make the case for the financial need to increase rates. And I've yet to see any numbers about how much does it actually cost to pick up the trash in Enid. And maybe your numbers are off. If you don't have them, it would be nice to share them. If you're asking me for more money, I feel like that is a basic something that you tell us how much it costs, how much these fees are going to generate, and let's see it on paper. And the other thing that keeps nagging me is what problem are you trying to solve? Because it was mentioned sort of in passing at the first study session that there's misuse of the trash carts by some residents, that people are putting their trash in the green poly carts and neighbors are getting mad. So I don't understand how charging per cart fees is going to solve this, because just tonight, Mr. Gilbert said that it's going to be on the solid waste workers to keep an eye out for the number of carts that are being paid for by people's houses. Well, isn't that the same accountability we have right now, that it's on the solid waste driver to identify if these are grass clippings in the green cart or if it's trash in the green cart? So I don't understand why we're not focusing efforts on what the known current misuse is instead of developing a new program that costs us more money that is already open to more problems, because how are we going to know how many carts are at each house? That's all.
Okay. One person signed up, didn't say what they wanted to address, so I'll ask Isabel Escobar, did you want to speak in public comments or to a specific topic? Isabel, are you here?
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah,
It's for Johnny.
okay.
His thing is, I think,
6.1?
6.1.
Oh, the rezoning.
Okay, all right. I didn't know that was for, okay, thank you. Mr. Berry, I think, has left. He signed up for a couple, so, all right. So that was it for public comments. Item 6, community development. Item 6.1, hold a public hearing regarding the rezoning of 1423 West Owen K. Garriott Road from R2 residential single family and R7 residential multifamily to C3 general commercial to be used for food trucks. This is a hearing only, so let me see if we had anybody sign up for 6.1. We have 2 people. Yanni Torrance? Oh, well, should we start with that, and then we'll have them address it, right?
Carla, do you want to tell us what the item's about, and then we'll have Mr. Torres come up?
Yeah, good.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Torres, Yanni Torres has asked for rezoning at this 1423 West Garriott. This slide just shows where the property is located on our comprehensive plan. This is along a corridor here. We'll go to the next slide. This shows the utilities at that location. The yellow box shows the exact location. This part on the east end is R2, the west side is R7. And the next one is, we've had a protest. This is our comprehensive plan map that shows the entire comprehensive plan. That's, it'll be right in here, in this vicinity here. This is our protest that we had at Metropolitan Area Planning Commission. The blue shows the 300 feet. That's what we have to notify on state statutes. The red are those that are within the 300 feet. And the yellow are those that are outside the 300 feet. These are the ones that protested and spoke at the Planning Commission. A lot of theirs were discussion about the condition of the roads, how they had limited access to Garriott, and they were concerned about that. The protesters inside the 300 feet amount to 25.5%. That's only important if you have over 50% of protests, then it requires a larger majority of the city commission to pass it. At the Metropolitan Area Planning Commission, they unanimously recommended to deny this request.
Okay.
Well, I'll answer any questions if you have them.
Don't think so. We had 2 people that wanted to speak to that. Mr. Torrance?
Yes, I'm trying to rezoning from residential to commercial, and the reason is because I'm trying in the future to build a business, not a residential, because my house got on fire a couple of years ago, and I don't want to do that anymore. And I'm trying to rent the place for residential. Nobody wants it. They want it for commercial. So I want to build, if I don't convert it to commercial, that place is going to be there, I don't know for how long, and that's my only concern. But I mean, my neighbors around me, they're not happy about carrying a truck or some kind of food, and I'm not going to rent it to nobody for that reason.
Okay.
I would like to see if you can consider that. I mean, because if I don't convert it into a commercial, I cannot rent it to nobody. Nobody wants that place. And I'm planning in the future to build a residential, not anymore.
So you'd like it to stay residential?
No. I want to convert it into a commercial, because my house got on fire 2 years ago, something like that. And And I wanted to rent that place as a residential, but nobody wanted to rent it. They wanted commercial because
Okay.
that's residential zone. And I'm talking about, that's a commercial zone. And if I don't convert into commercial zone, I'm not gonna be able to use it because that's considered residential, sir.
Okay.
And I would like to see if you can consider that, and give me the opportunity to convert it into a commercial.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just, Carla, can you go back to do we have the slide that shows where the properties are at? I think there were 2 lots or 2 parcels. The problem, and I think why MAPC, and Commissioner Orr, do you want to speak? You were at MAPC. They were concerned, I think rightfully so, about some access in and out of there because it's a very, it's coming right off of Garriott. Left-hand turns are going to be a problem. And specifically, my understanding is you had applied for it to be a food truck court. And that's not,
That's not
in
gonna happen.
MAPC's opinion,
That's not gonna
that's
happen.
not going to be a good use for that property. And I also understand why they have determined that. So the problem that the commission has to consider when they consider changing the zoning is, I'm not sure we've seen a plan for what you would do otherwise, but Carla, I don't want to jump out there. Has he presented another plan for?
No, he has not.
No, not yet, because I don't have any plan yet. In the future, I want to build a commercial for a business, like an office, something like that, but that's for the future. I don't have any plan right now.
Yeah, and so I'm just going off memory, Carla and Commissioner Orr, and I think, is Brian Henry still here? He's on the MAPC. I think one of the things that was also talked about is the commission, MAPC, would like to see you work on that plan and bring
Okay.
it back
All right.
before they would reconsider it. So that's something just for the commission to consider, because again, this is your decision to make, and it's before you tonight, but there potentially probably are some valid issues there that if it's
There are-
converted to commercial would create some issues.
There are a couple of houses, there's a row of houses, and the people that lived in the houses came, and they talked about, now, his piece of property, he could probably, it might not be safe, but he could probably make a left-hand turn, but some of them, I think 3 of the houses, there's a barrier so they can only go one way. It's very hard to get in. They all recognize that this block probably, that, for instance, he's not going to put, one of the reasons why no one wants to rent his property is that there isn't a house there, and that probably it doesn't make economic sense to put a new house there. Then, at some point, what the discussion was, if I'm remembering correctly, was that the whole block that this would be spot zoning to change this to commercial, C3 particularly, and that, that at some point, that whole block should be probably purchased by one person and have a developed plan where there could be parking, that sort of thing. That the danger is that whoever gets their property zoned first, there would be difficulties. There also is this is not a flat piece of property. If you've driven by, you'll see that this is just a difficult block right now. Traffic is, the lots aren't that big, traffic is difficult, people are having trouble getting out already, and they're concerned that if it goes commercial, that it'll get worse. That's what they discussed at the meeting. That's why they denied it.
Well, I can make it a flat. That's the problem. Flat property. I can do that if that is a problem. But if it's still residential, I don't see any difference between commercial and residential. The problem is that, no one wants to rent that place for residential. They want to rent it for commercial. And that is not commercial, it's a residential right now.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions? All righty. Thank you. We had one other person who wanted to speak on this topic. It was Isabel Escobedo.
I don't know.
Oh, okay, same?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She's my wife.
All right, good. All right. That concludes the hearing. That's all the people that were signed up for that, so we'll move on. Thank you, sir.
Sure, sure.
Move on to item 6.2, consider an ordinance rezoning 1423 West Owen K. Garriott Road from R2 residential single family and R7 residential multifamily to C3 general commercial. So
I make a motion that we deny this request, not that we would not reconsider it at another time, but not for today. Please come back with us with a better plan, and we will consider it then. But for us to just say it's commercial right now would not be appropriate.
Okay, I have a motion.
Second that.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Item 6.3, hold a public hearing regarding the rezoning of property located at northwest corner of West Brow and Spring Ridge Road from R7 residential multifamily to C3 general commercial to be used for a parking lot. This is a hearing. Please go ahead.
Yes. Mr. Eli Berry has made application for this. There is our comprehensive plan. It's part of a regional regional destination center. And then to the west is the traditional neighborhoods. On the map, you'll see this is the old Golden Corral location, and they're wanting to sell this piece of property to this old Golden Corral location for additional parking. The Metropolitan Area Planning Commission reviewed this, and they unanimously recommended to approve it to zone to commercial. Do you have any questions?
No. And nobody signed up for that one. So unless there's any other comments, we will complete the hearing there and move on to 6.4. Consider an ordinance rezoning property located at northwest corner of West Brow and Spring Ridge Road from R7 residential multifamily to C3 general commercial to be used for parking lot.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve in a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Item 7, administration. Item 7.1. Consider an ordinance amending the Enia Municipal Code 2014, Title II, Finance and Taxation, Chapter 2, Purchasing, Section 2-2-1, Definitions, to add and amend definitions, Section 2-2-5, Formal Contract and Open Market Purchase, to increase the threshold amount for competitively bid public construction contracts and require performance bonds. Section 2-2-7, emergency purchases, to increase the amount of the emergency contracts, providing for repealer, savings clause, severability, codification, and declaring an emergency. So this will require 2 votes. But Carol, did you want to say any more? You mentioned, you talked about it in the study session.
We did talk about it in the study session.
So if nobody has any questions, we'll move on. I'd entertain a motion to approve the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Motion carries 7-0.
Move the emergency.
Second.
Motion and a second to move to declare emergency for this issue. Any other discussion? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Item 7.2, remove from the table and consider authorizing payment to Edward Botts, Wacomas, Oklahoma, in the amount of $6,000 for damages related to project number M-2208C, South Meadow Lake Park Trail.
We should have a motion to remove from the table.
Okay?
Go ahead. Second.
Okay, a motion and a second to remove it from the table. Okay?
Are you going to vote?
Probably.
Yes? Let's
Yes?
light them up.
Oh, motion, yeah, motion and a second.
Always wanted to have somebody say
Please
that.
cast your ballot. Jeez, I'm catching up. Okay, motion carries 7-0. It's been removed from the table. Okay,
Mayor, thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. This property is a part of a trail that we built recently. This is the south of the Meadow Lake Park. This is a Korean church property, and the easement was donated to the city to build the trail. And there was a tenant, and these are the damages to the tenant. It's been paid, should be paid.
okay.
Any questions?
I move we pay the $6,000 to Mr. Botts.
I have a motion. Do I hear a second? Okay,
Motion dies.
motion dies. So,
Now it's in your hands.
Yeah.
I felt it was incumbent on me to make that motion so that we could open this up. If it died for lack of a second, good. Now, somebody needs to decide how much they want to pay Mr. Botts, because we just can't keep tabling this on and on.
I agree.
Bearing in mind that Mr. Botts has not agreed to accept anything less than $6,000.
We can go back and talk with them, I suppose, and then if that's what you all
Alternatively,
want.
alternatively, if the desire of the commission is, I guess, if we had this to do over again, the reason this is on the agenda is because it got caught up as part of this trail project. As you've heard, maybe in the study session, and this person came to us with damages late in the process when we were ready to accept the project. I think he does have some validity. I think the question is how much should he be owed, if anything? And so you can decide that tonight, or I guess if you don't decide it, I can decide it as a city manager with my authority, but I don't want to do anything. The reason we brought it back is because you tabled it, and I want to give you a chance to do something with it. So I guess this is,
Okay, so
I guess if it dies, I guess we go back and talk to him, because that's where we would be at,
I'm
and figure
looking-
out what to do.
for those, we didn't have anybody that wanted to second the motion, so I'll kind of open it up and ask any of the commissioners if you have a counter that you would like to do, if you have a different plan that you would like to, a way to resolve this, if you want to hire somebody that's an expert to find out how much you think the damages are, and then we'll have to, I mean, there's got to be some way, but we can't just continue to table it. We have to resolve the issue.
Mayor, I don't agree with hiring an expert, because that's gonna cost us more money.
Okay?
I mean, with the powers that be, Gerald is our city manager. You know, he's our city manager. And just like Commissioner Saradusa has spoken, the value of this land, how much you could get for it or whatever, is way less than $6,000. I mean, we can't just continue down this road. You know, every time, if someone goes and mobilize on a construction site and they say, well, hey, you know what, I just did a project for the city of Enid, and my equipment got stolen and torn up, so now I'm gonna go after the city. We can't have that, you know, so.
Well, I understand this is wheat ground and we damaged this wheat, okay? Well, oil companies do this every day of the world. They go out and figure out how much damage is to the wheat or whatever the crop is, and they're paid for that damage, and that's what exactly should be done here. I don't know, I'm told it's approximately 2 acres, and I'm told it was planted in wheat. That should be a fairly simple calculation. I don't know what wheat sold for this year, but somebody should, and I,
I'll add to that on your wheat. Your wheat maximum per bushel this year went for $12.94 a bushel. The maximum yield that anybody's got in the area on a bumper crop year is 60 bushels an acre, which comes out, 2 acres comes out to $1,552.80. And that's on a bumper crop year for 60 bushels for both of those acres of land at the highest paid price this year, which was $12.94. And that would give you $1,552.80 for crop.
you want to make that motion, and I'll second it.
I make a motion that we approve it at that bumper crop rate. And if he doesn't accept that, then let's follow the legal routes.
I'll second that.
Okay,
What is the amount?
$1,552.80. And that's at a bumper crop rate at the highest paid crop price this year. As far as his equipment, wear and tear on farm equipment, that's common practice, especially on dry years like we have this year.
okay. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Motion carries 7-0. So Gerald, I guess you'll contact them?
Problem solved. Morali, you and I have a phone call to make tomorrow, or a visit.
All right, thank you. Item 8, consent agenda items.
Mayor, on our consent agenda items, can we look at item 8.1?
Sure.
Okay.
You want to pull that and consider it separately from?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, we'll look at 8.1 first. 8.1 reads as follows: award a contract to North End Construction, Norman, Oklahoma, for project number M-2301C, Advanced Soccer Complex Center Walk, in the amount of $520,759.52, and authorize the mayor to execute all contract documents.
The reason why I wanted to visit this item, when I was studying it, I noticed that on the alternate days, I just had a question on it. With North End Construction and Jackson Civil LLC, it shows 0 days. So I just wanted to get a explanation on that as far as us awarding a contract on the alternate calendar days been 0 days. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, the contractor mentioned he's going to finish both in 130 days. So he said, like, I don't see a problem. That's the
Okay.
reason.
So he's just going to complete the whole
thing in 130 days.
So if something happens, the reason why I'm asking, just in case, does that also cover, I know he can, weather permitting and all that, I know he has those days.
Yes.
But anything else, the 130 days, because we're giving him an opportunity. You get what I'm saying, Mariah?
Right.
We're giving him an opportunity to have extended days if he need them, but both of these companies said, we won't need them, we can get it done within a certain amount of time. So if that doesn't happen, then what?
He got a liquidated damages.
Okay, so they'll be charged with liquidated damages on
Yep,
that?
yep.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
That's it.
That was your only question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then I don't know that we need to remove it from consent agenda.
I move that we approve the consent items.
I second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Item 9, recess to convene as the Enid Municipal Authority. Item number 10, all trustees of the Enid Municipal Authority regular meeting are in attendance. Item 11, the Enid Municipal Authority regular meeting is now in session. Item 11.1, approval of claims in the amount of $223,500.94.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, cast your ballots. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Item number 12, adjourn to convene as the Enid Economic Development Authority. Item 13, all trustees of the Enid Economic Development Authority regular meeting are in attendance. Item 14, the Enid Economic Development Authority regular meeting is now in session. Item 14.1, approval of claims in the amount of $394,149.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second for that to approve. Any other discussion? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Item 15, adjourn to convene as the Enid Public Transportation Authority. Item number 16, all trustees of the Enid Public Transportation Authority regular meeting are in attendance. Item 17, Enid Public Transportation Authority regular meeting is now in session. Item 17.1, approval of claims in the amount of $1,318.18.
Move to
Approve.
second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Cast your ballots. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Item 18, adjourn to reconvene as the Enid City Commission. On item number 19, we stand adjourned.